So standards, guidelines, procedures, these are the tools to implement policy. Now, this is a printer room or printer area in the IT organization. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8 to 10 printers are there, or these are devices for scanning the documents and all. Here they have a board. They have written here which printer to use for which purpose, what are the instructions for that, what are the user ID and password and all, what to do in case there is emergency, who to call, what is the emergency helpline. Then also they have a record that which documents are to be given to which department and all. Okay, so this person who is accessing this, he is in charge with the distribution of documents and assigning responsibilities in relation to that. Okay, so you can see everything is written here on board for clarity of activities to be conducted by this person. Now let's see. So basically what we are learning here now, what are the output controls. Okay, what can go wrong in case of output controls. Now, first one is storage and logging of sensitive forms. The input forms that we have designed, we have to make sure that stored and logged in a certain space, because what can happen is if we want to make manipulations of data or store some dummy data into the system, we can easily use these forms to alter the data. So a person must be assigned and this responsibility must be given to him to maintain these sensitive forms. Okay. So to prevent unauthorized access and unauthorized alteration of data, we have to maintain these sensitive forms accordingly. Then logging of output program execution. Whatever output was taken from the system, we need to maintain a log of that, so that it should happen that whenever data is retrieved from the database and what type of data was retrieved and when it was retrieved, you can understand why it is important. Then spooling or queuing. Yes, we have learned this already in the IPCC. Can anyone tell me what is spooling?
I don't remember exactly, sir, but generally when you give printout uh, in your system, it shows the icon which shows spooling over there, which means nothing but your next uh, files which has to be printed will be shown in that. It's shown in that inbox.
Can you see the mouse? I'm pointing out to the area. Can you see the area I'm circling?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is basically the interface for doing spooling. If you give the command from multiple computers that these are the documents we printed, it will appear in this area. And when you press this yellow button here or a green button here, it will start printing automatically. Okay, so this will first record all the commands that we have given to take printouts. After that, when you want to initiate the same, you will have to press this button here. It can be yellow color or a green color. And then what happens is, if a printout is not initiated, what we do is we try to give again and again, again and again. But when the printer comes alive or it becomes active, the same document it is printed for 8 or 10 times. So we don't want that to happen. But also we don't want to overload the printer by giving a lot of commands. Here, as per the time and the clearance which is given to you, as per that ranking of the printing commands will be done, and then after you press the button, the printout will be taken. Okay? So you have to remember this pooling or queuing. It is not just for printers, it is also for database. If you are requesting data from the server, but at the same time many others are giving the same command, what we will do is, again we will as per the ranking relation to time, level of clearance, we will prepare a sequence, and as per that sequence the orders will be executed. That is what happens in spooling or queuing. Okay, have you understood spooling and queuing? It is not a new concept. Okay, so if you have this spooling software, if there is an interface through which you can do spooling and queuing, we will say that we have this output control. Once again, storage and logging of sensitive forms, logging of output program executions, and spooling and queuing. Here the hard part is remembering the headings as it is. Writing the content down is not that hard. Then controls over printing. If this person here doesn't have the training how to use the printers and all, what can happen is obviously wastage of resources. The electricity is gone, but we will continue for some. Okay, so what we are doing is, whatever the new users are entering the organization, whatever our trainees are, if they don't have the training, we will make sure that there are controls. If a person is giving printout of the same document for more than 3 or 4 times, we will ask him whether he has authorization and whether it is actually required. That are basically controls for printing. We will use it basically for training new users. Then report distribution and collection controls. Okay, the notes. Yes, there is some background noise. I will talk a bit loudly now. That is the reason sometimes if it starts happening early, I try to postpone the session into evening. Okay, that is the reason. Okay, we will just complete this question and stop. Output controls, report distribution and collection controls. We have seen on the board here, we have some quick notes or pasties there. Why we have done that? So that we don't give the output to the wrong department or to the wrong person. So basically these are controls for report distribution and collection. Sometimes what will happen is, on the first page of the printout, we will have the details of that. This is the person who has requested these resources. This is the location of the person requesting the resources, and this is the level of clearance accordingly. So those are basically report distribution and collection controls. Here the main point you have to remember is, here a log will also be maintained, that which report was distributed and whether it was the same as the person who had requested and collected. So we will also prepare a log here. That the last point is retention controls. Now whenever you make an application to the banking company that you want a credit card or a debit card, they will give you the debit card and credit card with a letter. In that letter, there will be a pin, which is a temporary pin. You have to enter that pin into the ATM machine and use that card. After you do that, you have to enter your pin, as that pin is just a temporary pin. You have to now enter your pin and register your debit card or credit card. And after that, you have to destroy that letter, the letter in which the temporary pin was given to us. Okay, because it may happen that unauthorized modification of data can be done. So what is retention controls? If the documents are of no longer of use, or if they are very sensitive, we will destroy them as soon as their purpose is done, as they can be used for alternate motives. Now tell me, what kind of attack can be done if these documents are not shredded? What kind of exposure we have? If we, yes,
Scavenging.
yes, scavenging. And there is also one more exposure we have. Data leakage. Okay, exposure is data leakage, cyber attack is scavenge. See, in communication controls, the three exposures, this transmission impairment. Okay, this is basically what we are doing is we are doing parity bit check, and for that to make sure that the information that is being sent and the information which is being received, it is the same thing. We have a control here. Okay, it is called as line error control. Okay, it is called as line error control. We will verify line by line the data which is being sent and the data which is being received. Now, if you are calling someone, what may happen is sometimes you can hear your own voice again. Does that happen? Or does it happen with me only? I use a Geo.
It does happen, sir.
It happens.
It does happen.
Sir.
What we will do is, now for Geo network, it happens a lot of times. It is basically because they don't have this line error control. Okay, they don't have this line error control. What it does is, it first detects the error, the phenomena in which you can hear your own voice again. It is called a echo. Okay, for echo, what you will have is you will do a loop check. What is loop check? If the same message which I have sent, I am receiving it again, this loop check will auto detect it. So for error detection, we have a loop check, and for error correction, what we will use is forward and backward correcting codes. What is forward and backward correcting codes? The data that I have sent, I will not receive it back again, and the data which other person is sending me, he will also not receive the same data again. So that is what is forward correcting code and backward correcting code, so that we can communicate efficiently. We will not again hear our own voice again and again. So this line error control. Now this parity bit check that we had, it was used for, it is this line error control we are using at WAN level. What is WAN level? Wide area network level. Okay, and the parity bit check, that kind of check we are using for within the organization or for certain function. That is why we had it for data storage controls and not for data communication controls, because for data communication controls, we are looking at wide area network level, and at that level we have line error controls. Yes, have I answered your question now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the exposure that we have? The exposure that we have is transmission impairment. For that, we have line error control. Okay, should we stop or do you want to start with communication control? See, here we are going to see what are multiplexers, concentrators, then modem, port protection devices and all. This is basically the IPC syllabus again. Yes, sir. Can you give me an example of guided media? We had this na guided media, unguided media. Okay, do you want to stop?
Yes,
No,
sir.
sir. Okay.
Okay, if you want the guided media, you have to write that twisted pair, coaxial cave fiber, then optical fiber, that kind of examples you have to give. Okay, we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll start with communication controls. It is a very interesting concept. It will cover at least 50% of your IT syllabus. So thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.